Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is Take It to the Hizzy Fantasy Football TITTH number 98. I'm your host, Justin Bruni. I got full Hizzy crew here tonight. Emron and Nick. Say what's up, guys. How we doing?
What's up, y'all?
What's going on, everybody?
Yeah, we're finally here. Conference championship, boys. We got a couple of games left of football. How you feeling?
Finally here. Thank gosh.
A little sad. It means it's closer to off season, and I'm not ready for that yet. But
the draft starts.
That's true. But it's gonna be weird, man. Having those Sundays, that first Sunday after the Super Bowl, man. It's a big ass hangover. It just feels weird.
I think for me, it starts with the bye week. I hate the bye week in between the conference championships and the Super Bowl. Not a fan. I mean,
yeah.
the build up and the theater of it, all the drama.
Yeah.
But, not a fan. Not a fan of waiting that extra week. But this will be good for 2021. With COVID and everything, maybe get a little bit more separation, get those guys there early. I'm not really sure of the logistics of the situation for the Super Bowl, but I think those would be good ideas.
Yeah, and then I think having that bye week in case anybody has a flare up, if you will, you got a little bit of wiggle room.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's get to it here. We only got a couple of games to go over, so let's just jump into the reviews. Emron, you dropped your picks today.
Yes, sir.
What are you thinking for this first game, Buccaneers versus the Packers?
So Buccaneers-Packers, right? This one, I promise my thoughts are going to be unbiased. This game opens up This game opens up at the sports books. We're going to use our friends BetOnline AG as the Packers being, 3-point favorites at home. So Bucks are +3, obviously. Say again?
There we go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the Bucks are coming in at +150.
No, sorry, I thought we were losing you a little bit.
Okay. So Bucks are coming in +150 on the money line, and the Packers are -170 at home. Over under for this game is set at 50-1. In my article, I think the Bucks are going to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason I think that is, the weather element is something you can't ignore in Green Bay. You got a warm weather team going to Green Bay, where I think when I was reading the article, the weather had it at around 20 degrees. So it's going to be a very chilly night in Lambeau Field, right? Big for the Packers to have that home field advantage. But Tom Brady, he's no stranger to the cold. He's done this his whole career. And the only game this year where the Packers got their asses kicked, or honestly just looked destroyed, was against the Bucks. When they played in Week 6, Packers jumped out to a 10-point lead. They were winning 10-0, and then got outscored 38-0 for the rest of the game. Rodgers only had, he actually had 160 yards passing, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Devontae Adams, right, who was killing everybody all year, 6 catches for 61 yards. They got gashed for 160 on the ground. The Bucks have their number. I think this game is getting more competitive. I don't see a blow-up by any means. But Tom's got the experience, and they also didn't have Antonio Brown then. This team has got more weapons now. They're gelling. They've really come into form the last couple of months. And I think the Packers are going to have a problem. Should also mention, I was talking to on Twitter with one of the NFL independent reporters, Doc Clayman, that Rodgers is 1-3 in NFC Championship game. His one win in the NFC Championship game was against Caleb Haney and Todd Collins when Cutler got hurt, and also in that game he had 0 passing touchdowns. So I'm going with Brady, and I'm going to take the under.
Dang, going with the under too. I'm leaning the other way. I'm feeling the Packers right now, but I really don't like the spread at 3 points. What are you thinking, Nick?
I'm going to say that, man, it's so hard because, Tom Brady is so legitimate going into the playoffs and leading in December. He's been on a real hot streak. He's looked strong and let his defense do their jobs. But Aaron Rodgers has been a different animal this year. Even being able to see him on Pat McAfee and see him, a little bit of insight on how he's thinking and stuff. This year's been a complete different mindset, and you can definitely tell by his play. I think that the overall experience of the Packers is going to overcome what the Buccaneers can bring this year. I think that this year they're going to get stopped by Aaron Rodgers just because he's so hot, and I'm not sure if Tom Brady has enough in the tank right now to be able to overcome Aaron. So give me the Packers. I'm going to say they're going to win by a touchdown. And
cover the spread.
Give me the over. I think it's going to be a little bit of a shootout. Vegas is going to like a shootout with these two quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, both games are going over 50 points right now at the books. This one's showing 51 points. Honestly, the total is what scares me the most. So it's interesting to hear both your takes, for the over and the under. I'm going to stay away from the total. I really don't want any part of it. Gun to my head, I think the best option is to raise it up a couple of points and then maybe take the under. Maybe take under like 53 or 54, or really just wait for that line to iron itself out. As we get closer to the game. Today's Thursday. We still got to wait till Sunday. I don't want to mess with the spread. My pick is the Packers. I already have the Chiefs and the Packers parlayed together for a pick, so I'm riding with them all the way.
Yeah, and I think the other thing I just want to mention on this game is the Bucs defense is really solid, right? They destroyed Drew Brees last week, forced 4 turnovers. They gave those same problems to Rodgers, so it's not a fraud defense. They played against elite quarterbacks and gave up both hits, right? So I really think that defense is gonna. They're gonna force Alan Lazard, MVS, Tanyan to beat.
I think they can. I really do. And kind of going back to the Buccaneers opponents, they are coming off that game against the Saints. But as we were talking before the show, the Saints, they're, Drew Brees was a fraud in himself. That arm was completely dead. He had no business being in the game. They had brought in a reliever in Winston to chuck a 56-yarder, for a touchdown. I don't really love the Bucs, opponents recently. You got the Saints, you got Washington, and then on Atlanta, Detroit, Atlanta. The Packers are coming off of the Rams and the Bears. Not saying the Rams have the Bears, not an elite defense, obviously, but did get them to the playoffs. And the Rams, I think they still had a better defense than the Buccaneers this season as far as like a total body of work. And the Packers just put up 32 on them.
Mm-hmm.
They did, but also remember the Packers put up 10 on those Bucs. So we can talk about that, but I think the matchup is here, and I think I do think, like I said, it's not going to be a blow. I think it's going to be close, but Devontae Adams has a great year all year. They shut him down. They have a really good secondary. I think Tampa's going to do it, and I think they're going to be the first team to host the Super Bowl in their home stadium.
That'd be so wild. It really would be crazy.
In his first year, it's just nuts. Tom Brady. Like, this is the ultimate middle finger, right? Like, people are like, oh, he's New England product. First year in the NFC, granted, he's got a great team around him, but still, going to the NFC Championship game itself is awesome, right?
Well, it's still a team that went out and got Antonio Brown for like nothing, right? For practically for free.
But even before that, they were still on their way, right? I mean,
they were grabbing everybody. Yes, you're not wrong.
He's still 44, right? He's still 44 and chucking it around, and it's gonna be fun though. I mean, one of the things I wrote about in my piece was we always wanted that Rodgers Brady Super Bowl. We never got it, never will. But Rodgers Brady NFC Championship, not a bad consolation prize.
Yeah, absolutely. And realistically, whoever you get from that game to represent in the Super Bowl, Rodgers or Brady, it's a home run either way. Right. Nick, you said you're comfortable taking the Packers to cover the 3, win by a touchdown. I think we might actually be able to get a pretty good alt line on that. Does anyone have bet on lineup? I feel like that's
I'm in right now. Let me see if I can get to the.
So what, Tom? You're saying Tom's going to go cold in the 4th, or just not enough early on? What are you thinking?
I think that the secondary for the Buccaneers is good, but they're very, very young and
good, not great.
Good, not great. Yeah, and Aaron Rodgers has seen a lot of NFL football. Basically as long as those guys have been playing football, because they're so young. So I think that he's going to be able to, beat them, and I just think that the Packers pass rush will be able to get to Tom Brady. They have some beast on the bookends, the Smith brothers. And then Rashawn Gary apparently has been doing very well. I just see the secondary, being able to hold them enough to be able to let Aaron Rodgers outscore Tom Brady.
No, I'm with it. The biggest difference between that last game, between these two, Buccaneers 38-10, home field advantage. It's a different stomping grounds. You're going to Aaron's backyard now, and it's actually not similar to the Bills and Chiefs because their game was much closer, but their previous matchup was played in Buffalo, and I'm just going with the home teams here. 4 really good teams. I'm taking that little extra edge.
And then you guys wanted to know the alt line, right? If you were happy to go +7. So bet online AT, I couldn't really find it there, so I just popped over to DraftKings Sportsbook. If you were to go with the Packers -7, it's +188.
Good value.
I was going to say, grab that for sure. I mean, if you're on it, you should jump on that number. I mean, that's going to give you the best value. I'm seeing those options everywhere because, obviously with only 2 games, they're really limited to what they can offer you at the books, and they want to trap as much money of your money as they can. So you're going to see a lot of opportunities to lay some cash this weekend. So, yeah, if you like the +7, take it. I love it. We can jump into the next game because we're going to jump into some props after that too.
Sure. Yep. So we're going to move over to the AFC Championship game. We got the Buffalo Bills coming into Kansas City to play the Chiefs, right? But we don't know who the Chiefs quarterback's going to be right now. This line has been all over the place. So on Sunday, when the lines opened for this week, the Chiefs actually opened up as a 2.5-point favorite when it looked like Mahomes wouldn't play, whether the injury or the concussion. Obviously, give the Chiefs some plus money. People are going to hammer it. The spread has aligned itself. So we're also at 3 points in this game. So the Bills are 3-point underdogs coming into this game. Chiefs are 3-point favorites. You got the Chiefs are -162 on the money line. The Bills are +142. You got the over/under set at 54 points. We are now at Thursday. I wrote my article yesterday. Still no information on Mahomes. He's practicing in full.
Yeah.
But he has not been cleared from the concussion protocol. They are playing. They're going to skirt. I mean, you just never know. The books seem to think he's going to be playing with the Chiefs being favorites. But the thing is, it's not just a concussion. In that game, he had a leg injury too. It looks like they designated a toe injury. And it's concussion, neck injury. So he's a little bit banged up, right? His arm is fine, so he's going to be fine in the pocket. But his escapability and his mobility is also one of his traits. I think the Bills match up well with the Chiefs, right? The Chiefs, kind of looking what I was doing this week, was looking at games for teams either, like the Chiefs, for example, since they only really lost 1 game, right? We're not going to count that Week 17 game where they benched everybody against the Chargers. They lost to the Raiders, and the way they lost to the Raiders was that Raiders spread them out, right? Hit up with the deep ball, and it worked. Bills can do that. Bills can do that better. They have a great quarterback who's second for MVP. Stephon Diggs was arguably the best receiver in football this year. Jar catches, he blew up. Cole Beasley, John Brown. They have a nice offense. So I think when you match these teams up, I think they're pretty even. And Mahomes being banged up will possibly even out. I think that's a problem, right? That affects their weapons a lot. So personally, I just don't think – I think the teams are too evenly matched to have Mahomes coming into this game banged up. I love the Chiefs. I love Mahomes. I love my guy Kelsey. I'm taking the Bills. I'm taking the Bills +3, obviously, plus Bills on the money line. And I'm going to take the under. I think 54 is too high.
What do you think, Nick?
54. I'm going to say if even if Mahomes plays, it haven't exactly been lighting up. It's really been like individual guys definitely having their games, like Tyreek having his game, Kelsey having his game. But Mahomes exactly hasn't taken over games like where 4 different receivers gets a touchdown. I'm going to say the under as well. The Bills are, they're going to be able to light it up, but they're not going to be able to take it to the over. And I think that the Chiefs, if they pop Mahomes 1 to 2 times, they could probably knock him out for the game and take him out. So I'm going to take the Bills winning this game and give me the under.
I'm going opposite direction, fellas. I'm going to the over. Give me a 32-28, a 32-30 game from the Chiefs. I think they're going to take it. Mahomes, I don't think he would be practicing every single rep if he was really struggling with injury, even the toe, even the foot or the leg, or whatever it is. Like, he wouldn't be taking every rep in practice, if he wasn't going to clear protocol, if he wasn't 100%, because it's the conference championship. Why would he be taking every single rep with the first team if that was the case? So I'm feeling a little bit better about him than what maybe the media is trying to project right now all of the concern, all of the worry, because we don't have that 100% confirmation. And really, I'm just trying to get in and make some daylight here. I'm looking at minus 162 for the Chiefs right now. I'm guaranteeing you, the second that they confirm Mahomes is in the game and he's 100% and he's good to go, again, it's Thursday. We got like 3 days here. That number is going to jump up to potentially minus 180. Could get to even minus 200 if they're really feeling the Chiefs. Were you going to say something?
No.
I was going to say the total itself, the 54, I'm going to smash it. Like I said, 30, 28, 32, 28, whatever it is. I'm still taking the Chiefs to win. I'm taking the Chiefs to win by, between 1 and 6 points, actually. I put a $20 bet on it, pays $90 just to win between 1 and 6.
Who do you think has the better game? Tyreek Hill or Stephen Diggs or Travis Kelce? Let's throw Travis Kelce in there because they're all
between the three.
Yeah,
between the three of them, Kelce, because the linebacking crew for the Bills are not going to be able to keep up with him. Now, the Honey Badger, he's going to be, kind of touch and go on Diggs, and Diggs is going to get his. I do think that Tyreek will be used in a lot of different ways, as we always see him. He'll be rushing the ball, catching the ball around the line of scrimmage, and then, of course, opening up the deep field, for any action out there. Obviously, if he makes 1 or 2 of those plays downfield, it's going to be a big game. But the Bills do have some weapons back there that can slow him down with the appropriate game plan. So I'm going to take the Chiefs to win. I'm going to take the over. Like I said, I have the Packers parlayed already with the Chiefs, both money line picks. I'm getting minus 165 and minus 162 for the home favorites. I don't like the spreads at all. I don't like them.
So between these three, those 3 players you guys mentioned, I am going to go with Diggs because I just think they can match him up all over the place. And all year, he's been just a reception and target machine. He's racking up catches in every game, so that's his game. And then for Travis Kelce, I think you're correct. Him against the Bills linebackers is a bad matchup, but that's not who I think he's going to be matched up against. I think they're going to put Micah Hyde on him. Micah Hyde is one of the better safeties. He's a great player. And then Tre'Davious White, I think that's a good matchup against Tyreek Hill. But Tyreek Hill, his speed, as good as you are, right, there's only so much you can do. So you need Micah to double up on one of those guys, the way I look at it. Like you're right, he's the X factor, but you're not going to be able to stop both of them because he's going to be needed to double up on one of the other. No, I don't think you are. I don't think you ever will. When you play, if you just can't. That's one of the problems with that offense is just to have the weapons. But I really think just Josh Allen, I think that he's going to cause problems. The other thing I want to mention is these 2 teams also played during the regular season too. Ironically, week 6, Bills are in that midst of that weird schedule where they had to play the week before they had to play the Titans on Tuesday night, and they had to come back around and play the Chiefs on Monday night at 5 p.m. So they had 2 games in 6 days at weird ass times, weird ass days. And they did lose to the Chiefs by 9, but I think it was more a part of that team. The Bills hadn't hit their stride yet. After that game, right, the only game the Bills lost after that was the Kyler Murray Hail Mary play against the Cardinals. That is the only game they lost after that, and that's scary. That they could have won, like 10, 11 games. And they've looked good in the playoffs. And I love the Chiefs. I really do. I only have to take my adopted team, but I just have a feeling that the Bills might do it.
No, I agree. It could be last possession victory for either side. That's why I'm not touching the spread because I really do see this as a 1 to 2 point game. I really do going either direction. The last team with a scoring opportunity is gonna win this game, in my opinion.
Yep.
How many rushing attempts do you think this game will have total? Like both sides. Like just curious. Like I don't know.
It's a good prop. It's a good prop.
I'm gonna say over under 20 both sides.
Both sides.
Combined or each?
Combined.
I'll say over for the Chiefs, under for the Bills.
Only reason I think you can hit the over is that quarterbacks can scramble a little bit.
That's what
excuse me. Is the quarterbacks can scramble a little bit. So you're going to get probably 5 to 7 from Allen. He's just going to run out and scramble.
Yeah,
so I think you're going to get a couple of runs, but I think that Mox is out for the Bills, right? So they're going to be down to just Devin Singletary. So
they definitely ain't dependent on his ass.
Yeah, no. So I think you're going to. I wouldn't be surprised if you got Josh Allen as the leading rusher in terms of attempts.
Your brother's in the chat. Cam's saying that Josh Allen is going to have 10 rushing attempts by himself.
I can see it. I know Josh Allen's his guy. His guy's going against my guy. Even though I'm not picking the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes my guy. But it's going to be a fun game. I think we do have the 4 best teams left in the NFL in this game. In these 2 games, that's what I'm really excited about.
I'll ask you this: do the Bills score over 26 points? Both of you.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I can
Well,
see
then how-
27 for sure.
So you're saying like what? All right. So then the Chiefs, 28 and a half.
No.
No.
No, from memory. Okay. All right. So there you go. So you guys have.
I got 28-24 Chiefs. I'm sorry, 28-24 Bills.
Okay. All right. I don't hate it. You're cutting it close on the number.
It's a high scoring game.
Oh,
7
it's
touchdowns, but 54 is a lot, man. Like the books messed them up last week when they had that 54 in the Ravens and Titans game, which made zero. The Ravens and Bills game, which made 0 sense to me.
I think the game that the Ravens were coming off of their recent success. I didn't hate the number. I mean, obviously people were hitting it. I mean, they were slamming it. The books made money, so great number.
Yeah,
means it was believable.
Yeah. So Justin, you got Packers and Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Nick, you got who you got?
I had the Bills winning, so Bills and Packers.
Bills and Packers. I got Bills and Bucks. So all three of us have different matchups.
I like it.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
I like it.
So somebody's gonna be right.
So who wins the Super Bowl? I have the Chiefs.
Packers.
Bills and Bucks. I got Bucks.
All right.
We got 3 different winners.
Prop bet. Anyone? Bueller? Anyone?
We'll think of something.
I'll take the Chiefs. Like I said,
we'll have 2 weeks. We'll have 2 weeks to think about it. That's what we'll do during the bye week.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Well, I mean, after this week, we only get someone's team's going home out of that mix, so we'll see.
That's true.
You want to go through the props, Emron?
Yeah,
You got those pulled up?
I do.
I know I'm taking in Monkey Knife Fight. I grabbed the overs for Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. As I said, going with the over, doubling down on that. So is it Josh Allen was 308 passing yards, took the over. Patrick Mahomes, 310 passing yards, took the over. Give me all the passing, give me all the offense. Nick just asked about the potential rushing attempts for each side. Give me the under for both. So I'll gladly take it. Hoping for a lot of passing.
All right. So we'll go ahead and get started. The highest total by one team this weekend. Is anybody going to score more than 30? Is anybody going to score 36 points or more?
36? Ouch.
Over under 35 and a half. Yeah.
If you said 30, I would have said yes, but not 36. No.
I don't think so either.
These teams have too much pride in the NFC Championship game. I don't see any of them being blown out.
And
like
decent
that.
defenses all across the board. No one's defense is garbage. They're okay enough.
Yeah, but I just feel like the Bills and Chiefs offense is just so elite that we really could see that 32-30 game. Like we could see both teams score over 30. But that's exactly. That's not 36. Yeah, I feel you.
36. If you think about it, that's a lot. Even if it's a 35-30 game, that's still not the over.
Mm-hmm.
Watch it get blown out.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the under that
every game be 42-40.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that'd be nuts.
That would blow me.
All right. So which game? So are we all in the under?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. So next we got up. Which game will have the most total yards? AFC or NFC? The AFC is a slight favorite at -130. The NFC is -110.
I guess I got to go to AFC with my pick. With the Chiefs and Bills going to the over, so I'll take that.
I'm gonna go NFC.
You took the over for them, right, Nick? You took the over 51. Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, it makes sense. What do you think, Emron?
I'm thinking hard.
Hard.
Can hear the smoke over here.
Yeah, I probably see. Yeah, I'm gonna go AFC.
Yeah, it just feels like there should be more offense in that game. Given the high end options.
This is a fun one. So special props.
Mm-hmm.
Tyreek Hill backflip while after scoring a touchdown. So he can. There's 2 ways he can get this one. There's 2 ways you can. Yeah, there's 2 ways you can cash it. He can backflip while he's scoring the touchdown or after the touchdown. So that's very key right here. There are options, and so no is -2,000. Yes, +700. I wish they had this shit legal and Merritt had dropping $10 on this right away. He's gonna do it.
If it was throwing up the deuces, my ass would be on the way to the book.
That would be yes -9,000.
Whatever. Well, Yeah, I would. Well, whatever. I'd be losing that money probably because he would do the backflip instead. But that's how betting always goes. But no, if that was the case, I'd be laying a few shekels on the deuces. That's the brand. That's like one of my team names, like 3 or 4 years running, deuces. So yeah, I'd have to just by obligatory reasons.
And so I'm gonna say yeah. He's gonna do it after a touchdown.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
What do you say?
Make it rain, y'all. Smash the like button. Share the video if you already haven't. Tyreek Hill prop bets for doing backflips.
Yes.
I'm gonna say no because Antonio Winfield Jr. is not gonna allow that shit happening.
Ooh.
Okay. We'll see.
That's a different matchup. Antonio Winfield doesn't play for the Bills.
Oh man. Never mind then.
I was like, man, when did they get him?
Let's
go. Did Dak come out of retirement?
No, it won't happen. Yes.
So we're just talking about this next one a little bit in our preview of the Chiefs and Bills. So when will the Bills run their first running play? We have the over/under set at 3.5. Will they run it before their fourth play?
What's the rules on it? Like, is it have to be like a called play or is it like a scramble? Because I can definitely see the scramble.
Play. It's gotta count as a run. So it's over under. So under 3.5 plays is minus 160. Over is 3.5 plus 120.
I gotta take the over.
I'm gonna take the over.
I'm gonna take the under.
Fine.
You think the pressure's gonna get to him to cause a scramble?
I think so. Remember, it doesn't say for a yard. I could easily see him trying to get out of a sack and fall down at the line of scrimmage, and that's not a sack. That would be technically a run for 0.
Oh, I don't want to lose my money on that. I'm staying away.
Yeah, it's an ugly one. This is one I want to make a mental note of when I'm watching the game. I just want to see where this happens because
I feel like all the odds could be on the under then.
Yeah, I feel like if that happens,
don't put it on a parlay, Amron.
Oh no, you can't. No. Yeah, I know.
Actually, they don't let you, this bastards.
Yeah, some of these they won't let you, and it's weird. Like the one side I'm gonna try to do maybe this weekend even. I love that FanDuel lets you do the same game parlays, for prop, which is pretty cool. That's when you see if you guys follow like Bleacher Report betting, if people like have these crazy ass parlays where they put down $5 and they win like 7 million. Oh, not 7 million.
I saw that. Yep.
And I'm like, dude, like I've been loyal to DraftKings. I use the app when I'm in a state. But I'm like, FanDuel, I mean, this is just genius. Like, why can't you bet all the same props in the game? Like, why? Like, what's the reason why? It makes no sense. So it's fun. Like, even if you do a couple, like, if you hit them right, if you think, like, for example, like the Bills and Chiefs game, you think it's going to be high scoring, pick the fucking overs, throw $10 on it. You might wake up to $100,000.
The degenerate lottery ticket.
Oh, it's so much better than a lottery ticket. It's so much better.
Because you have control. You have control.
Exactly.
All right.
Fuck the lottery.
The next one we got. Who's going to have more rushing yards? Leonard Fournette? Ronald Jones? Even money, minus 120 both sides.
Rojo, give me Rojo. Rojo. I had to get it in quick.
Last time, yep. I'm on Rojo. Will any player have 2 or more receiving touchdowns?
Any player across all weekend?
Any player.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
I think it's going to be Kelce or Diggs.
I can see Diggs getting it too.
What about Devontae Adams? Is he like on the list? Like, is it odd?
It's just a yes or no. It's a yes or no question.
Okay.
So I'm happy you mentioned Devontae. I was thinking about it. Obviously, he's had a crazy ass year, right? 18 touchdowns. Barstool had a post where I think it was like he's cashed in like I think 10 times out of like the 17, 18 games the Packers have played on the first touchdown scored in the game prop.
Nice.
And and guess who scored the first touchdown last week? Devontae Adams. And they were like it was like plus 500. So it's pretty. It's funny because you know what the Packers are going to do when they get in the red zone. He's going to throw to Devontae Adams, and he still gets open.
Exactly.
So I would not be surprised if he finds a way to get 2 touchdowns. He's just so good in the red zone.
I'll throw out a dark horse too. Robert Tonyan, dark horse.
Give me Cole Beasley too.
Well, any one of those guys, like a Croft.
You made Godwin.
Croft. Yeah, Godwin. Antonio Brown, even.
Gronk.
Packers get one.
We're just talking touchdowns.
Yeah, I know. I'll take. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'll take Tanya though over Gronk. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. So next one we got is, will any quarterback throw for 400 yards?
No.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Who you got?
A-Rod, Nick?
I'm gonna say yes because Aaron Rodgers can throw like 250 to just Devontae Adams. Robert Tonyan getting 90. He's like 90% there already. Throw a couple screenplays to Aaron Jones. I see Aaron Rodgers getting over 400.
Damn. I got nobody. What do you think, Imran?
I must say no. I think it goes back to what I thought about how good these defenses are this week. Like I said, they're decent defense. Like if somebody has a 250-yard game, like that's awesome. 400 is like, to me, it's like the equivalent as somebody going to rush for like 200 rushing yards. Like I think 400 is just a lot. I think we'll see a couple 300s, but damn, I think. Well, Nick, you were on one of the games being an over, right? So if you're on that train where you think it's going to be a shootout, then it's possible.
Yeah.
All right, another one we kind of hinted at earlier. Is Josh Allen going to lead the Bills in rushing yards? We got no paying minus 140 and yes playing plus 100.
Give it to me.
I'll take it. I think I'm banking on in this game him getting a broken play and getting like a 30-yard run. So I'm gonna take the yes too.
I can see it easily.
All right. So now we're gonna get to these players. Which player is going to have the most passing yards? Your favorite is Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes tied for plus 215. Rodgers is at plus 275. Tom Brady, the GOAT, is disrespected as the underdog at plus 290. I'm taking Brady.
Just for the value? Or just
for the value. Just for the value. Right. He's got the weapons I was talking about. So give me Brady.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. I'm going to take Mahomes.
Okay. Most receiving yards in the conference finals. We all know who's number one. Actually, no, they're tied. Adams and Diggs are tied for number one at plus 325. You got Kelsey at 400. Tyreek Hill at 475. A lot of other players I won't go name by name, but at the end of the list, you got Robert Tonyan at plus 3,300. McCole Hardman at plus 3,500. MVS at plus 2,800. Antonio Brown's plus 1,600. Evans is plus 750. Beasley's 1,400.
I think I'm going to go Diggs.
Give me Hill.
Diggs, Hill.
What do you think? Take some Adams?
Let me go Apple Joe Apple. Let me get Antonio Brown for plus 1,600.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I think that's a pretty good one. Those back end Packer wide receivers too. MVS, Lazard.
Yeah.
MVS is he always gets open, but he drops all these touchdowns. I would not be surprised if he drops a bomb. He could score on a bomb too, but I would not be surprised if he drops.
But really, realistically, any of those guys, MVS or Lazard, both of them could catch 2 plus 70 yarders.
They could, but will they?
Yeah.
Finishing off with our rushing yards, we got Aaron Jones is the favorite. Favorite. At plus 300. You got underdog is Le'Veon Bell at plus 2,000.
Yeah.
AJ Dillon at plus 1,600. Rojo at plus 450. Darrell Williams at plus 750. I kind of like that. Fournette at plus 425.
Is Clyde on there?
Clyde is plus 400. Singletary is plus 400.
I'm going to take Clyde. He's got back-to-back practices. I think they need him. Give me Clyde. I don't love anyone in the other matchups. I mean, Aaron Jones is great, but the Buccaneers' rushing defense is still, number one in the league.
Rojo.
I knew it. I knew he was going to be up too. I think he's had success against that team. Packers are not good against the run. They've been weak against it all year. Let me get them.
Yeah.
What do you think, Armand?
Yep, I got Rojo.
All right, cool.
Yep. All right, that wraps up our player props.
All right, cool. We can jump over to, I guess we already did for the odds for the Super Bowl. What are you guys thinking about the odds for the next head coach for the Texans, for the Houston Texans? Are we still into some Eric Bieniemy or what? I mean, I figured he would have been hired elsewhere by now.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't understand how he's still available. So I know with him being a coach of a team that's good, right, and an offense that's good, they're still playing. So that he can't get signed until obviously the Chiefs season's over. But You know, he's worth waiting for, right? Like, I mean, he's been a great offensive mind. He's done good work. Him being the Texans head coach would kind of be the only thing that might save Deshaun Watson, because all these reports, right, have been coming out on how pissed he is, mainly because they dicked him basically, right? They're like, yeah, we want you involved in the process, man. Like, you get in here with us. You let us know who you want to come in and bring the GM. You're like the franchise. And so the people he wanted to be the GM, like he liked Willis Riddick, nah. He loved Robert Saleh. He loved Robert Saleh, like most people do. Guess who was the only team that didn't interview Robert Saleh? Like, not even interview the guy. Like,
yeah.
And so, you know,
that's smart.
No, and this job is like, you know, like I think we talked about, I think probably when the season ended, that Deshaun Watson is what makes this job its job, right? You don't have draft picks. Like, it's you coming for the quarterback, right? And then hoping you can build around him. If he wants to go, like, or he's already gone, like, this team's going to be in a bad spot.
Yeah.
So let's look at this list of the other people that it could be. But Bieniemy would be a good one. But if you're Bieniemy, like, would you go there?
To Houston? I mean, you need to know that Watson's going to stay if you're coming in, right? Like, and I think that's what's going to be difficult for the Houston Texans in navigating the coaching hire is that everything that Watson is doing, you know, publicly, right? You know, I had this thing at 2, now I took it to 10. You know, commenting all the positive stuff for other teams on social media. Oh, that jersey looks dope. You know, when he's in his Niners jersey, stuff like that. So. It's not a great scenario that he's really setting up for the Texans, because when they're bringing those people in for interviews, you know, that has to be the biggest question is, hey, do we still have Watson? Like, are you guys cool? Were you guys working that out? You know, kind of similar to the Eagles situation, you know, they hired Nick Sirianni. You know, when they were coming in, they said, hey, you know, we want Wentz to be our guy. It's not like Wentz really has like the leverage to get out like Watson does at this point right now.
Yeah, and the tricky thing here, too, with Watson is when he re-signed his contract with the Texans, he has a no-trade clause. So he really holds the control, right? So if they send him somewhere where he doesn't want to go, because let's say, for example, I think Miami is one of the places he would be okay with going. So for some reason, if he doesn't want to go to Miami, he can say, no, I'm not going there. I want to go to New York, or I want to go to San Francisco. So, you know, it's going to be really curious to see what happens, because this is going to be a pretty big domino. You don't see superstar quarterbacks that are only 25, right? Hit the market. I'm going to be really fascinated to see how this plays out.
Nick, we'd mentioned Bieniemy before, you know, being the top candidate. Do you think that if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, he just stays? Like, do you think that's a reality, or is this guy really just going to pounce on, you know, the next real opportunity?
I mean, so is Houston the only job that is available right now?
Oh.
Okay, so I mean, if he doesn't feel confident that they're going to be able to keep Deshaun Watson, and the Chiefs do win the Super Bowl, I do see him staying there one more year. Let this cycle go one more time, open up more spots. It's kind of a blower that, you know, he's on a good team that's in the playoffs very deeply. He's knee deep in, you know, playoff talk. And all these other teams just snapped up coaches like Dan Campbell. Like, I remember that guy in Madden. Like, I don't remember seeing him on like any list for like coaching hires. Nick Sorelli, Cerillin, I didn't see him at all on any list. Like, it's just like they're just kind of grabbing guys out of like other teams that, you know, they're just filling in for that spot. And it's kind of weird when we know Eric Bieniemy's like the cream of the crop of the OCs for that team. But, you know, if he doesn't want to go to Houston and win a Super Bowl, why not? Why not stay one more year? It's a very cushy job what he has right now.
It's true.
That's a good point. And like Nick mentioned, like with Bieniemy, like look at the last 2 guys that held the offensive coordinator title for the Chiefs, right? One was Doug Peterson. He left there. You won a Super Bowl. He won Coach of the Year. The next one that took over for Doug Peterson was Matt Nagy. He left there, won Coach of the Year, right?
Yep.
I mean, since those 2 left, the Chiefs have actually won a Super Bowl, right? And they've been doing an AFC Championship game every year. Like, I just don't get it. I just don't. But, you know, it's the Texans who are, like, you know, becoming one of those organizations right there on a laughing stock. But I would not be surprised if they come out of left field and hire, like, Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, I could see that. I think that is a potential hire that could also keep Watson, you know, in Houston.
Yeah.
Who are the other options for the Texans for the odds?
So you got Bieniemy, Caldwell. Bieniemy's listed as the favorite right now, plus 200. You got Caldwell at plus 250. David Culley at plus 400. Leslie Frazier at plus 500. Joe Brady at plus 750. He's been getting a lot of love. Matt Eberflus, plus 750. Colts D coordinator. Brian Daboll, who's somebody I'm surprised did not get hired. He did a great job the last couple of years with Josh Allen and the Bills. He's at plus 1,200. Marvin Lewis plus 1,400.
Yeah, the Caldwells and Lewises go away.
Like those guys, they've had their shot. Lincoln Riley plus 1,600. Greg Roman plus 2,500. You know, this list.
Lincoln Riley, that'd be an interesting hire, but I don't know. I don't think he's. I don't see him.
If you're Lincoln Riley, would you leave Oklahoma? Like, why would you leave Oklahoma for this mess, right?
Yeah. It was close. Location. That's the only reason I thought. Like, you know.
Yeah.
I hear you're right, but I think like you guys were mentioning with the enemy, it's like that same thing, right? Like you're not desperate for money, right? Like you have a great situation, like something else will come around.
You're a demigod, like in Oklahoma. Like, you know, you've won championships. You know, you walk into a room with recruits and they all listen. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't leave Oklahoma for Houston Texans. And unless Deshaun Watson was staying and I knew he was staying, but I don't see Deshaun staying because he kind of feels disrespected. So McNair's not really doing that.
Let's jump into that then, because that was our next thing up here is the odds for where Deshaun Watson ends. Anywhere in particular you think, Nick?
I don't know why people keep bringing up Miami. It's literally just because it's like an interesting spot. The picks. I mean, honestly, I would probably want to go to New York. The Jets, if they get that Penny Sewell guy, that's a pretty nice little thing they got set up. Jamison Crowder's already there, a veteran. I
make just the pieces that are better. We don't have to talk up the Jets. They'll make everybody better. Obviously, Braxton Berrios will go to the Pro Bowl. We know.
But I think he wants to be in like a bigger market, and I think that would be like a good opportunity to bring a big name into a huge market. And they also have the picks to make it work as well. Hopefully they wouldn't give up that number 2, but if they have like that, I think they have a later pick in the draft. Okay, yeah. So they would hopefully keep one of those and supplement Deshaun Watson coming to New York. So that's my pick.
I really love the Miami fit. I mean, tell me what they're missing right now. What that roster is missing is a QB. Exactly, a QB1, and that's what Fitzpatrick was before he was replaced. I'm not going to divert. I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. Stay on the road here. Stay on the road. Not Fitzpatrick talk.
Yeah. So, no, I was just going to say, the thing with the Jets and the Dolphins, the reason these are the two teams that are highest on the board as favorites is they both have multiple first-round picks. If you're and the Jets had the second overall pick in the draft, and the Dolphins have the third overall pick, right?
Right. But they don't need to give up those positions necessarily because they have picks in the back end of the first two.
I think, like I mentioned, like Watson, like he's gonna cost you a minimum of 2 picks. So the Texans, if you're trading away a superstar quarterback, you need to get something back, right? So I think it would be those 2 picks. And if you're the Dolphins, I don't give a fuck. Take them both. I still have 2 picks in the second. I can still load up on receivers and O-linemen, right? Like
I agree with that. I agree with that. I just don't think the Miami brass is going to agree with that. Like if they could somehow manage to trade next year's first and then their back end first for this year, I think they can make it happen. But I do not believe that the front office in Miami are going to allow them to say, yeah, our first 2-round picks for this year, go ahead. Just give them to them.
But I mean, it happens all the time, though. Like players getting traded for 2 first-round picks, like Jamal Adams, Khalil Mack.
DeAndre Hopkins wasn't done.
Not everyone's the Bears, Emron. Okay. Not everybody wants to give away their future.
I gave Seattle. Seattle's been doing it for years. They stay giving up first-round picks, right? But I think, but that's what I think. Like, I think he's going to cost you multiple picks. Well, you talking about the Bears. I think they're the only team stupid enough to give up 3 or 4 first-round picks. But I think the Dolphins.
They can do it. It's just not a great situation for him.
It's not, and it's not a great one for the Texans. I would love for them to be in consideration. But if I'm the Houston Texans, one, I don't want to lose him. Right? I don't want to lose him at all. I want to keep him. But 2, if I'm going to lose him, I need something back to build this team back up. So I think if he's I think he is going to get traded. I think those two teams are the likeliest because I think immediately they can get that help, right? I don't think they're really concerned about the next year's picks. You got two teams that can give them those picks this year that can help out that roster, which doesn't have a first-round pick because Miami owns it. That could be one. The other thing I've seen thrown around too is that if the Dolphins do go all in, if the Dolphins are like, fuck it, we want to get, Watson, they're talking like potentially not just those two first-round picks, but just throwing two in it and just saying take it. And let's just get
absolutely.
it.
The Jets should do the same thing with Darnold. They should absolutely let him go in that trade too.
This is going to be really fascinating because this is also going to shake up the draft, right? When we get into draft coverage and stuff, like who's going at the first round? Who's going to be going after Trevor Lawrence?
If you guys are the Texans, who do you want more, Sam Darnold or Tua?
Sam Darnold.
I agree.
Tua.
Really? I really don't like
what have you seen? Tua. What have you seen from Tua? That is like, oh man.
In the NFL, nothing. In the NFL, nothing.
Yeah.
In the NFL, nothing. In college, I've seen him do a lot better when he's got a little bit better weapons around him. I think he
does have great weapons around him, though.
But now he's going to get less weapons.
Well, I don't think he's got great. I think he's got good. I think he's got good weapons around him.
I mean, man.
Devontae Parker, the position group of the tight ends, has had the most receptions and the most yards in the position's history for the team. Like, their weapons were legit, and honestly,
endless depth at running back that we had no idea who they were.
He made them look really mediocre, and Fitzpatrick brought them all up. Like, I don't know. Like, I think Tua is a bust.
And I think Watson would do the same there. I think Watson would elevate everyone back up to those Fitzpatrick levels and beyond even.
Yeah. So I think it's way too early to call him a bust. I mean, if he's played like 6 games.
Sure.
I mean, we've seen quarterbacks all over the place that start off
last year, sorry.
Yeah, so he started off slow, like Josh Allen's like the example. I guess he's one person, but he started off, really struggling. He developed over time, and he took off when he got a number one weapon. I understand. I'm not saying the Dolphins had bad weapons. I think they had good weapons, but I think he could be. I think he still has more potential. Darnold, I think those two quarterbacks are very similar. I think they were both. Darnold, especially, I think he was set up to fail since he got to New York.
Yeah.
They didn't really help him out ever. Like he's just running.
I agree. I agree.
I think he's in a better system. Like, man, and it could be with Robert Saleh. Now that he's got a competent head coach, he had to play with the dumbass Adam Gase. I think they could do something there.
But if you're Robert Saleh, don't you just like immediately pull the finger on that trade? Like, yeah, I'll take Sean Watson. Sure. No problem. Coach of the year award. You can hand me that now too.
Yeah. And Watson likes it. That was one of the people that Watson wanted to play for in Houston.
Exactly. All right, we're going to move it along here. We're going to jump into some buy or sell. I'll start with Taysom Hill. Is he going to be the Saints starter week 1 in 2021? Buy or sell, and why?
Yes, because
buy.
Okay, so yeah, buy. Because I don't think Winston is what Payton is looking for in his offense. He's very one-dimensional, and he's very risk adverse or not. He's a risk taker. I see Taysom Hill giving them the best opportunity. He just gives them a dimension that, even Drew Brees didn't give him, but Drew Brees was a traditional drop back quarterback. Taysom Hill, he would, definitely be released of all of his other duties on the team. He would just be the quarterback, but he can, run the ball. He can do the option. He's almost like a modern quarterback. And I think that excites Peyton, and it gives him the best chance because he already has Alvin Kamara in the back. He has Michael Thomas, who's, supposedly still, one of the best wide receivers. He had, some issues in the playoffs and stuff, but, hopefully next year is a step in the right direction. But I see Taysom being the starter next year.
All right. What do you think, Imran?
It should be Jameis, but it's going to be Winston. It's going to be Taysom Hill because they have some weird obsession with him. They do.
Yeah, it is a little weird.
So, I'm sniffing something a little different, though. I think they're going to wind up. I think they're going to trade. I think they're going to trade Hill because if you look at the contracts between the two, let's just say Breeze leaves, right? We were talking earlier about how the Saints have cap issues. They could literally have Winston back for like less than $5 million a year for starting quarterback. It'd be wild. If they have to bring in and plug in more pieces on this roster construction may dictate that Winston's just the guy and that they actually need to move Hill because of his contract because of the space that it'll free up. Just a weird take,
And the
both probably there, but I think that would be more fun.
I think that's a valid thing to bring up because we all talk about like the salary cap is a myth, right? It's not a real thing. But one of the things a lot of teams have done, right? They keep pushing money to the future. They keep pushing money to the future, and the reason they're able to do that is the cap kept going up every year. The cap kept going up every year. It's coming down this year because of COVID, right? So Saints are one of those teams that are in the worst cap situation, and they're going to have to make a lot of tough decisions.
You know who I think they get potentially traded to? Taysom Hill?
No.
Yeah.
The Jets?
No, not the Jets. No, not the Jets. Look on your head.
The Bears.
No. Fuck.
Yeah. I'm telling. I mean,
no.
All right. So,
I will beat the shit out of Ryan Pace if he trades picks for Taysom Hill.
Gun to your head. You get Kyle Trask or Hill.
Fucking give me Kyle Trask.
Stop.
I don't want it. We've already dealt with like.
I know, but the dude is trying to save his job. They're both in my opinion.
I think he's going to do something stupid. They're going to. I don't want to get into that too much, but I think they're going to trade him first. They're going to do something stupid this offseason because they're desperate. They're going to trade a first-round pick for Derek Carr.
All right, there you go. Hey, I don't hate that. I love Derek Carr this year.
That's a good
first round.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Mike Thomas, buy or sell, is traded in the offseason.
So I kind of led into this with what I just said about the picks, with the cap situation and all the people at the sign. I think there's a strong chance this could happen because I think they may try to sell high, like a team like Baltimore that needs a wide receiver, right? I think that Ravens. I think they saw it this year. Like they have okay pieces. They just need that one wide receiver to put everybody into their proper spots. If he's available and they call you up and they say we'll give you a first and like a third or something, a first and a fourth. If you're the Saints and you're trying to build this team back up, right? Why would you not take that?
If you're the Ravens, you offer whatever. I mean, if the phone's ringing, then absolutely. I mean, I'm putting picks on the table, taking them all day. Absolutely, $1,000,000,000%.
And the other thing, if you're the Saints, is you basically played all year without him, right? Minus 4 games. Yeah, you did okay. Sure. You did okay.
Really well.
As long as you have Kamara there. As long as you have Kamara there, and you can use those young picks to get a young player and start developing him, and on a cheaper deal. So. If you're a team like the Ravens, right, they're going to have options, right, between free agency and trade. That they have no excuse not to start 2021 with a legitimate number 1 wide receiver.
Facts.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to change? Baltimore. Do you think that they're going to change their OC?
They need to.
Because they got to open up their playbook because a number 1 wide receiver is great, but if you're not giving him the opportunities, then he's going to be just as great as Des Bryant was. He got 1 touchdown. That's how I see it. Like, everybody says, they need a number 1 wide receiver. Okay, but we need to open up the playbook too. Like, we need to open up the passing game. I don't care. You still need to have those reps, those opportunities. You need to have Lamar Jackson passing the ball because it honestly seems like he regressed in passing. He wasn't as great as he was.
He absolutely did.
And I think it's also because that offense changed, right? They went from that 3 tight end to offense that they had with the attack with Hayden Hurst and Andrews and Boyle, and then they lost Hurst. And I think they really underestimated that impact because I think that supplemented for not having that receiving threat at the wide receiver position.
Go ahead.
Wasn't Boyle lost for the season at the beginning of the season?
Yeah.
So I mean, he's going to be coming back. So, I mean, now you got 2 tight ends, but you still need a legitimate wide receiver because Marquise Brown is just a slot receiver. And you can make good money doing that. You can make a lot of money doing that, but realize you're a slot receiver. So get a number 1.
Absolutely. Agreed. All right, next up, we got Phillip Rivers retiring. Buy or sell, Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Famer.
I buy it. I don't think he's going to be first ballot, but I think he's had a great career. He did a lot of good things. Never got a Super Bowl. Never got to play in a Super Bowl. But I think so. I don't think he's going to be first ballot or anything. But I think eventually he'll get it.
Eventually, it's going to be a very long time because they're always going to say like the Super Bowls and stuff like that. He never actually made it to one. And. Dan Marino, he made it to one in his second year, and after that, never made one. But his passing numbers were so great for that time period. There was no doubt about it. this is a little bit different. There's a lot of other, quarterbacks. Eli Manning. He's not like as electric in the numbers, but he won the games that mattered. He beat Tom Brady. Philip Rivers, Philip Rivers not got past that. So I'm gonna say it's gonna be a long time. Like how to do senior picks, the guys that it's gonna be that long time. It's gonna be his great grandchildren or something like that accepting it because it's gonna be a long debate about it because there's gonna be a lot of guys that are gonna have to get in before him, and that's just the truth.
Yeah, agreed. And shout out to Philip Rivers. I mean, he's finally pulling out for the first time in his life. It's absolutely a beautiful thing. Cheers to him and his wife. They can finally settle down and start a family. Really take care of themselves. So good for Philip Rivers. Yeah, I mean, he's already got all the pieces in play, but he really gets to get home to it. So I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. When I'm looking at the body of work from other guys, yeah, his stats are there, but it's all regular season. And, we always say oh, you don't get to pick your opponents. It kind of goes both ways, the bad performances versus the good performances. It's just that he always performed well in the regular season. And then whenever we saw him get to the playoffs, he choked. He just choked. He was never the same player in the playoffs. And when you look at guys look at Calvin Johnson. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's never won a Super Bowl. But when you look at his body of work in the playoffs, it's great. He's never shut him down, but he also didn't go to the playoffs a lot either.
Yeah, no, I listen to your point because some of those Charger teams in the late 2000s, before 2010, they were fucking good.
They were.
Antonio Gates, LaDainian Tomlinson, Vincent Jackson, right? Mm-hmm. They had some teams where I remember a lot of those years. They were the favorites, right? They're all right, this is the Chargers year. This is the Chargers year.
They were always an underrated team because of that. They were always an underrated team. No one ever gave them enough attention that they deserved, but it's kind of rightful because every time they got to the playoffs, splat.
Yeah.
All those run-ins with Manning and Brady didn't answer. Always Not
even once. I'll give him the props though. They did make that one AFC Championship game, and I remember he played that game with a torn ACL. He wanted it. He wanted it, but
sometimes that's as close as you get. Sometimes that's as close as you get.
And it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. I think you guys are onto something there. Eventually, yeah, he will be, but he also doesn't seem like the guy that he really cares. Is he really? I mean, he talks a ton of shit, but is he really going to talk smack about getting in or not getting in the Hall of Fame? No. It sounds like he's about to go coach high school football.
Yeah, he's a competitor. I think he'll definitely go into coaching. I could see him making the Hall of Fame as a coach.
And he wants to coach his kids for forever, and he's got a fuck ton of them, so it's going to be a while before he makes it to the NFL.
I mean, 20 years, you're 60 years old. Andy Reid's 65, but he's been coaching for
we got these guys, Nick Sirianni and Matt LaFleur and Sean McVay, all these young cats now. They're getting in early. They were showing LaFleur versus McVay. It was the two youngest coaches since Madden and it's gonna drive me crazy. Who was it?
Shula.
And Don Shula. Thank you. Yeah. That's generational stuff we're watching right now. I mean, this is it.
It's McVay's 5 years younger than Rivers.
I know. It is pretty funny, but hey, he started early. That's how you get in. You get in.
Rivers also likes to start early.
Stop. And I'm out. All right. Next up, we had Dwayne Haskins going to the Steelers. Whoa. Buy or sell. Dwayne Haskins starts 2 games next year for the Steelers. 1 game. What the hell is this?
Sell.
I'll go 1 game.
Nope, sell. Basically what happened is that he got expelled from, I said this off camera, he got expelled from his normal school and he is getting sent to military school, the military school of the NFL, and they're going to try and reform him, and he's still going to be the same idiot. I just think that he's been coddled his entire life, and he's been handed everything on a silver platter, and he's just not, he shows no work ethic that shows that he wants to be a starting NFL quarterback. I mean, think about Tom Brady. You think Tom Brady was in the strip club, throwing dollar bills? And not until after the Super Bowl. That's how I see it.
Same thing with Tiger. Not till after the Masters.
Brady was making those avocado smoothies.
He is really just pounding smoothies and kissing his son. That's about it.
Yeah, it's just disappointing what he's become. For being from Maryland, I coached right on the field that he used to play on in high school. It's kind of cool when he got drafted and stuff. But when he started playing, he really needed his hand being held. And NFL quarterbacks don't do well when their hands being held because you have to do so much of reading, so much going through your progressions. Like I cannot be an NFL quarterback, but I know what it takes. And you got to be able to do what it takes to be at least an average NFL quarterback to be able to keep your job.
I think the best thing to do is have him live with Tomlin and take away his Netflix. He can only watch Tom versus Time on repeat. That's it.
It's really funny though. Do you guys think since Haskins coming to town, do you think Big Ben gives up number 7 to him?
No.
Hell no. Hell no.
They should make him like number 1. Like what's it like Petey from what is it with Adam Sandler? Why is it not coming to me? Longest Yard.
Yeah.
Give him number 1.
But I do think
I was just gonna say he was gonna hand him number 7 on his jockstrap. Like, oh yeah, I got number 7 for you right here. Just hand it to him. It's like, there's no way. Like,
but I think going back to will he play a game next year? I think so, mainly because Ben's coming back. He's getting older. He's had durability issues, right? So I would not be surprised to see him come in for a game too. Not because they want him to.
God Lordy. Rudolph, you've got your work cut out for you, son. I think Rudolph is terrible. Like I've said, Rudolph is worse than DiNucci. He's worse than the DiNucci. But man, now he's got Dwayne down. Oh my God. Why can't they just call Duck Devil and Hodges back? Like what the hell? Like come on.
For how well the Steelers develop every other position, they do not develop quarterbacks well. They got lucky as hell with Ben Roethlisberger because he was hot from the beginning.
Yep.
And we haven't really seen any behind him like really like that good. Like how many times have we seen Josh Dobbs come in for relief for Ben? You know what I mean? Like
remember Charlie Batch?
Hey, I think Charlie Batch. He's a bear.
I love the guy. But I remember him being like the backup for like the first couple years that Ben was like running the league, winning Super Bowls. Charlie Batch was his backup, and then after that,
Super Bowl ring.
Yeah, he was just no problem. He was like a Lion quarterback for like 10 years. Like he definitely deserves to be able to get a ring. But after that, there's really no one that's come behind Ben Roethlisberger. Not even someone that is like tradable. That's kind of interesting too. Is that not a single one of them is like, oh yeah, like we'll take like Jimmy Garoppolo. That guy's made a lot of money riding the coattails of Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. Like I don't know. That's just something I've noticed from the Steelers.
And they invested a pretty high pick in Rudolph too. He's a second-round pick of theirs. I think he was the guy they were hoping could develop as a successor. But
they were. He's not.
Well,
he's clearly not. If they just went out and traded for Dwayne Haskins, could you imagine Mason?
They didn't trade.
Whatever. Sorry, my bad. But could you imagine being Mason Rudolph sitting at home like, what the fuck?
No, I honestly wouldn't be worried because basically they're like, all right, we're going to allow you to sign into the building today, and we'll see what happens. We'll see your attitude, and if you're on your phone one time, you lose your privilege. Like
this is Washington, bro.
Yeah, I thought I was Rudolph. I'm like, nah, man, screw it. Like I've been here like 2 years. We'll see how he lasts like 1 week under Tomlin. Like he couldn't last under Rivera, who's like the same like cloth. I feel.
I was just gonna say that like he's going from one really hard nosed coach in Rivera to Tomlin. Like they're very similar in that aspect. And yeah, I mean the public school versus military school. I like that comparison as well. I think Haskins does have his work cut out for him there, especially with the culture. You mess up in Pittsburgh, man, those fans, they let you know about it. All right. They give you a pretty hard time up there in Pittsburgh. It won't be easy if he doesn't, dance to their tune. So we'll see what happens. That was crazy today, though. The phone, I was like, no, it's not real. It's not real. It didn't happen. Oh, it did. Crazy stuff. Let's see what else we got here. Early 2021 fantasy takes, just kind of based off of like free agency. Do you guys have anybody in particular that you're looking at that's going to be on the move?
Man,
So it's going to be, there's going to be, your bit of wide receivers that are going to hit the market, right? Like your Chris Godwin's, is that going to be somebody that the Ravens go after? Allen Robinson could be hitting the market. Does he stay? Does he go?
Sure.
It's for me, it's really not necessarily the free agent market. It's going to be the trade market with these quarterbacks, right? We already talked about Watson and nauseum, but like Stafford, he's probably going to get traded, right, by the Lions. Where is he going to go? That could, if he goes into the right situation, like that was somebody that I was hoping that would go to the Steelers. Because I thought he would really gel with that team with the weapons that they have. Like they have a lot of weapons. That would be another good spot for him. I think that's another team. Like, what do you do, right? Like T.Y. Hilton came on at the end of the year, but now they're going to change quarterbacks again. And what's going to happen? With that team,
they could maybe they move up in the draft.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what I'm interested in. There's going to be a lot of movement with quarterbacks this offseason.
What do you think about a guy like Marvin Jones? Like we were just talking about the Ravens, potentially trying to go after like a Michael Thomas. That would be wild. I don't think that's actually going to happen. But what do you think about like Marvin Jones filling into the Ravens? I feel like he would be a solid fit there for their kind of their lack of balanced attack, right? They need to even it out. And I feel like he's a guy that would kind of fit right in with that group, not being like an overly elite receiver, but, very talented regardless. He would still be the best receiver there, in my opinion.
So, Justin, go ahead, Nick.
I don't know. It's Marvin Jones is 2B, in the wide receivers. It would definitely go towards what what their unbalanced attack is. I mean, I've said on air, I looked at, the top 5 teams and then the Ravens to see what their rushing and passing attack was. And the Ravens were just the Ravens were just completely opposite of everyone else. So for me, it's like, if you want to double down on that, like you can get Marvin Jones and then use the rest of that money to like upgrade the line. Like get a couple road graders for in front of Lamar Jackson. Double down on your defense. Like if you're gonna do 54% rushing while you're doing 46 passing, double down on it, man. Double down on it, and don't waste money on $100 million receiver, which I don't think is gonna happen as well. But you just don't want to put your money where it's not going to be actually used well or utilized.
No, what I was going to say, Justin, was if I'm the Ravens, I look at his current teammate, because Kenny Galladay, that was the person I was forgetting about. He's also going to be a free agent. That is someone, he's banged up this year, but when he's been healthy, he's put up some numbers. So I'd be interested in him. But like, if the Ravens are going with like Marvin Jones, that means they failed everywhere else, right?
It's true, but it may be that case because they lack the system and the playbook that's friendly for one of those guys like Allen Robinson, like a Kenny Galladay.
But do you think it opens up though? Because they haven't had that route for receiver, and the opportunity is the other catch is you go with Lamar, you get to play with Lamar Jackson, and this is a team that's consistently competing. So it's going to be a team you're probably going to go to the playoffs to, and you play with a quarterback that we've seen he's talented, right? But is this just Josh Allen all over again? And Josh Allen gets Stephon Diggs, and he's wow.
But that's the thing. Greg Roman is the most hard-headed OC I've ever seen in my life. Like, how are you going to put your star quarterback and make him go through a sandstorm for just 3 yards? Yeah, you're going to play with Lamar Jackson. Yeah, you're going to compete for the playoffs, but you're going to be doing it blocking for Lamar Jackson, and you're a wide receiver. Those guys are divas, yo. Like, they don't at the NFL level, they probably are blocking, but they aren't providing the same blocking as like a fullback or a tight end even. They're wide receivers. And, I think that if Greg Roman is going to be hard-headed as shit and be like, we're going to run the ball every time with Lamar Jackson, don't spend any money, because Kenny Galladay is going to garner like however much millions of dollars that the Ravens shouldn't be using, because they aren't going to be using it at all. Like that's basically putting money on fire if you do that. Like, that's how I see it in Baltimore. Unless the OC changes or they change their philosophy, but I don't see that.
I think my hunch is I think the philosophy would change by adding that a better receiver, because it's something that you haven't had until you go all the way back to it never really in the Lamar Jackson era, right? In my opinion, they didn't really have like that great wide receiver. I think I would be really shocked if they ran that same offense with having like Allen Robinson and Chris Godwin and Kenny Galladay.
I feel like the ceiling for them at that position, like in free agency, they're going to wind up, peaking potentially at like an AJ Green because he's going to be available, right? I feel like if you're
signed to a future contract though from somebody, I saw that he was signed to a future contract. I was Brown. Brown signed to a future contract.
That's not that same AJ Green. It's another AJ Green.
I was going to say, what's breaking right now? Like, what the hell's going on?
AJ Green I saw it a couple days ago. I was like, what the hell is that?
I saw it on Twitter too, and then they commented, "Oh, by the way, it's not the Bengals receiver." Yeah. I was like, oh shit! I was like, when did the Bengals cut in? Why did they come to the playoffs?
I saw that. I was like, what the f? I was like, I was quick as hell.
So to me, that's who I think the Ravens are going to peak with. But I feel like a guy like Marvin Jones is nice and steady. He'll take a good contract there. He'll go from a losing culture to a winning culture. He'll be on that positive, aspect of things to sign the contract. These other guys, like if I'm Kenny Golladay, like what's going on in Tampa, like is Godwin out? Like if he's not going there, then well, maybe I need to go jump in on there. There's so much talent at the quarterback position around the league. These receivers, they can go to these, high-end, options, like a Mahomes or an Allen even. What if Allen and the Bills want to load up on another receiver? Or, Jared Goff is like, well, I need another weapon over here, or any situation like that. Even Denver, they could use another weapon. They're all these back-end options after Sutton. They weren't getting it done for him this year. There's a lot of places where these guys could land where their production is going to increase their value and in turn, re-level up for the next contract that's going to fade them into darkness like a Kenny Golladay.
What if these wide receivers are waiting for like Deshaun Watson to land?
True.
Like if I was cool with Deshaun Watson, I'm like, dude, take your time, man. I'm be chilling. I'm be chilling.
If you're any one of those guys, would you rather want to play with Deshaun Watson in Houston or anywhere?
Anywhere.
Rather than
because we all know the Jets are going to have money. So if you're the Jets, you land Watson, you're Godwin, you're Allen Robinson, you're Kenny Golladay. I'll go there because they're going to pay me and they're going to have a good quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. What about the tight end position? What about a Hunter Henry? Anywhere that you could easily see him sliding in, or is he just coming back to the Chargers and he's just going to feast with Herbert?
I could see him going to New England because I feel like that offense, if McDaniel stays, needs a tight end. Like they need somebody in the middle. Honestly, they just need something there, really. Like we talked about the Ravens, but that's a team when you come to skill position, they're really lacking. So I think he's going to end up staying in Los Angeles because that offense is nice, especially with Justin Herbert the way he came on. But I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up with the Patriots. That's going to be another team with money, and they need all the help they can get.
What do you think, Nick?
Oh man, his injury history scares the hell out of me. The one team that I thought of when you brought his name up, Washington football team. Logan Thomas did come on really strong, but they got a double tight end set and kind of helped on Kyle Allen or whoever is the quarterback. I think that could be a really good position and kind of allow them to build up their wide receivers that are pretty young. They have some talent there, but they're really young and they need time to get more experience.
Right on. I'm thinking Seattle if he's going to leave Los Angeles. Ooh. That's a team that loves to give contracts to tight ends that have a history of getting hurt.
True.
Hey, they love it. That's their favorite thing to do.
So another tight end that came to my mind since we're talking about this, because I think this guy might also be available. If you're a team like the Seahawks or the football team, what if Zach Ertz hits the market if he gets cut?
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they could happen. The signs point to that possibly happening because they've been kind of shifting towards Goddard.
I'm running to him. Honestly, speaking from the heart, I want the Bears to cut Jimmy Graham and go after Ertz. It's that's what I really want. But probably not going to happen. I don't get things that I wish for. So probably, Seattle Patriots, any of those teams, I'd be running to them with a big bag of cash.
Yeah. I think whatever team is willing to pay him the most. So I think the teams with the higher cap space are all in play. I mean, we keep bringing up the Jets just because they have so many options available. Chris Herndon was a joke last year, and he was supposed to come on very strong. So, and Zach Ertz, he likes to win, but I think he's not hurting for anything because he got a Super Bowl ring, and he's towards the end of his shelf life. So, I think he wouldn't mind going somewhere and getting paid pretty well just to lead a new crew coming through, and him being like the top dog again. I don't think he wants to go somewhere where he needs to like go into like the veteran group. I think he's okay with leading younger guys, but he wants to be the guy at his position. So yeah, the Jets. I mean, even maybe even Houston. They don't even those tight ends go up and down every freaking week.
That's true.
Yeah.
What about Arizona? That'd be a great one to pick up.
Does that fit the playbook though?
I mean, I thought they ran a lot of 1-4 sets, the 14 sets, 4 wide, but they had a tight end come on, Dan Arnold, but who wouldn't take Zach Ertz if he was available? And I think Cliff Kingsbury can make a playbook. Larry Fitzgerald retired, so that's one of the receivers already gone. Put in Zach Ertz. That's the same guy, basically. Think about it.
That's true. The way that they were using Fitzgerald, anyways, for those possession, receptions, within 8 to 10 yards. Yeah, that's Zach Ertz. Cleans all that up, right?
I wish I could be a GM. I'd be good at this.
They won't let us. They're bastards. Yeah. You do fantasy? Is that even real football? All right, cool. Well, you guys got anything to end it with? I think that's pretty much it, unless you want to go through like the actual player props for the weekend really quick.
I was good. I was good to go.
I'm good to go. Yep.
All right, sounds good. All right, well, best of luck to you guys. We got the conference championship coming up this weekend, this Sunday, doubleheader. Hopefully Mahomes gets in. Hopefully we get a good game. That'd be like the worst thing, but I think potentially to happen is Chad Henne plays that entire game.
But come on, Justin. Anything is possible.
Anything. That wasn't good. That I started saying that like everywhere in the airport, just like walking around like anything is possible. People were staring, and I was a security risk.
It happens.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? No. I saw that tweet like on the television, like as I was watching the game. I was eating a Chicago dog. Yeah, part of it like got spit out of my mouth when I saw that. That was hilarious. I love listening to, or not listening, but watching Patrick Mahomes on Twitter during these games. It's really entertaining. It's really
they should allow players to tweet like during the games from now on. Like that would be really cool. That'd be a different experience. Like being able to see like their thoughts. I don't know, like or at least allow them to do it at halftime. Like
you need to earn it like a merit badge in like like 5th grade. Yeah. Where like I got a ticket. I did something good. Like you did your homework. Right. Here's a ticket, kid. You can buy some chips at the ticket store when your good behavior time is up or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, you got to earn it. Because not all these guys would be good with it. Not all these guys would be good with that. Really quick, did you guys see AJ Brown's IG video, a live video?
Yep, I did.
It was hilarious. So AJ Brown had double knee surgery, right? And after the surgery, he like pulls up his phone, doesn't even know he's taking a video of himself, and the lady's just like, "Oh, you want me to call your dad up there?" He's like, "Nah." His ass gonna record me. He's recording himself on Instagram Live. It was too funny. I was absolutely loving it.
That's funny.
He was like dogging the nurse after the fact. He's like, because the Titans made him come out and apologize and whatnot. And you hear him a few times and they're like, "I'm gonna be the best wide receiver of all time." And you knew he was on drugs, so you can believe him.
True serum.
Exactly. So you guys can believe him. Early take, give me some AJ Brown as a wide receiver 1 in 2021. Double knee surgery after, he said he needed it after week 3, and he finished the season balling.
Yeah.
Balling. That's crazy. At least we understand why he was missing so much damn practice all the time.
He never practiced.
Yeah.
Ever. He started on Friday or Thursday most weeks. Like, what?
I feel like he's kind of like almost like that Randy Moss where he's just like, you know what? I just show up on game day and just play. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't need a stretch. 84 don't need or him 11 don't need a stretch. He's good to go. He just plays and just balls out.
Make it out to cash, homie. Straight cash. Let's go.
With half legs. Like, he don't even need his knees. He's good.
Exactly. All right, good stuff, guys. Good episode. This was TITTH number 98. We'll see you guys next week. Take care, be well, and may the odds ever be in your favor this weekend in the conference championships. Be well.
See you guys.
Later, guys.